Things seem a bit things seem a bit chaotic. It's just an ordinary day, and I might be neurotic, but you gotta put your things away. And I might seem exotic, but I'm your average Joe today. And I might be psychotic, thinking I could actually save us at home. Stand like I'm told, and I might be idiotic. I thought that I knew it all, so I was like, yeah, I got it. No surprising when I fall. Maybe a bit robotic. I'm half AI after all. And if you want, I've stop on the job, 'cause you can't always stop or flop. What are we doing here? What are we doing there? Wherever you go is there. Where you are, that's where you went, you see. Now wherever you wanna go is where you've gotta go and be. Whoever you are is who you be. Wherever you go is where you'll be. Tomorrow's here, now gone, you see. The past is already past, but tomorrow's yet to be. Today is present. Immediately. Want some advice? You should follow mine. Probably not. Turns out this time she does too good of a job walking the line. I did not do a well enough job of saying how much she really does love her country, because I do. I'm proud to be an American. I think God formed me here on purpose, through and through. I think there's all sorts of things that we get here as privileges, as honors, as rights, and I think that we're the only country that exists where wars are a thing we don't really have to fight. At least not on our land, at least not on our soil. And here we get to be as rich as we want or spoiled, even though my whole life I've lived poor. But that doesn't matter, because I know that there's more. I get it, I don't get it, and that much is for sure. Just what to do about it, who to be, and what for. And who's going to believe me anyway when I don't actually have proof of any of it. But it's truthful. My government that I love, I was targeted when I was younger, probably because they already did know who I am, maybe not. But I was targeted and I was drugged and I was raped on my 23rd birthday at Camp Pendleton. I had been there before. I'd hung out with those gentlemen before. My friend was there separately from me with her kid. Sorry, I can see their trick makeup or filters or whatever. Anyway, I went home and told my mom it was five guys. I told my dad nothing. NCIS contacted me, told me that they found my panties and that there was video surveillance and that we could go to court or they could just go serve in the military for a few more years and not have to register as sex offenders. So they were on their way home from boot camp. I said, whatever you think. And so my understanding is they got sent to Hurricane Katrina to do cleanup. And then I was given this house. My husband's aunt asked us in 2012, 2011 to come and turn the shop into an apartment for her and we could have the house. So we did that. We came here. We got the shop set up as an apartment. My husband's father, Steve, came over and moved Aunt Sandy out to the shop. A few months later, she decided that she was having congenital heart failure, which she didn't tell us, but she said she was going to go move with her friend Ginger down to Arizona and she'd bought a house. So then it was just my husband and myself. He started using the needle. I tried it with him one time. He tried to kill me, I'm pretty sure. I mean, it was his thing. I had a bruise from here to here on my arm, and for like 12 hours was just laying there just like, you can't let the kids see me. You can't let the kids see me. I have no knowledge of him filming me during that time, and I don't know anything about these dramatic reenactments they've unfortunately done. I'm shotgunning. That's what I do when I'm trying to get it all out, because it's like a whole entire lifetime of a story. My teeth were cut out, my hands were crushed by law enforcement. That part happened by law enforcement, for sure. Perry should not have been the one arrested or in jail for that, even though that's what his uniform said. I don't believe that's who it was, and I don't believe that it was Lloyd either. I think it was Lyle, if that's even the correct name for him. Craig's brother, from back when at the barracks or whatever. I think the barracks boys were getting revenge on me for if I hadn't been there that night, their life wouldn't have been ruined. I think it was actually 3 to 7 senior officers that were doing a final hurrah for their sons, and I believe that there was then like 73 to 78 cadets in boot camp that also fondled me. Anyway, they had to go do 5 or more years doing shit water cleanup, and the whole time we're like, if those girls hadn't been there that night, if she hadn't been there, then my life wouldn't be ruined. So I don't know how it all worked out, but I was given this house, and it just so happens to turn out that a lot of law enforcement and all my neighbors are barracks boys, or were people that were there that night. And my husband immediately started using the needle when we got here, and a handful of people broke our marriage apart. I wound up with a 50-year no contact order against him, the kids and I against him, and then he disappeared to jail, and then another year later, or to prison, and then another year later, he overdosed in Oklahoma. I hadn't seen him in 2 years. But right when he was arrested, I met this guy named Clint, who turns out was one of the best boys. And it was him, and I was madly in love with him half the time. And then, I don't know if it was a classified thing. I think he was an angel thing. I know however that sounds. But I do think it was him half the time, and then it was whoever was on duty the other half the time. And that's how I say that, like, law enforcement is the one who basically they were pimping me out half the time. And I was, like, madly in love. No, I'm not related to Sandy, so thanks for please not changing the way my face actually looks. Okay, I'll hit stop and finish my story in a minute. Anyway, for a year and a half I was in love and being pimped up by law enforcement. The rape game happened, the ED girl thing happened. The Clint costume started when the Gangsters Association, did a smash and grab of the two-person man robot that was my person who I thought lived a double life. And I'm pretty sure that he did live a double life. I just don't have all the details as to why. Was it just money? But I do believe there was a two-person man robot involved. And that's the means by which they still basically pimp me out. And then for like a TV show or something, they never told me about a fundraiser. I never got Benton County Computer. I don't have the 6725 phone number. I'm not the one calling and hanging up. I've emailed, I've sent photos, I've asked them. They come here and all they do, because I can just hear them, I'm super psychic even though I won't go anywhere. They come here and they think about committing me. I have poisoned food, poisoned canned goods. I have water that's evidence of a dish full of gunpowder and lye into my septic, which could be explosive. My son's literally, I think, been sold across state lines. High cap field trip. That's like a gifted intelligence education or highly capable field trip. I'm not sure. My whole family seems to have been swapped out. I don't even know. I'm at my wit's end, and it's all just to make me sound like I'm mentally insane. And altogether, and they stole the switch, which they didn't tell me about. So altogether, my life's been totally smashed for the last 2 years, and I've received zero in compensation. I've been accused of a lot of things, and they made they made a lot of evidence somehow or another through a variety of different means to get me to the highest level of clearance, or to get me to up high enough in the government, wherever I needed to be in time. A few people who were attacking me who didn't want to give the money back, a few people who were just trying to get me noticed, a few people like my son who was mad because his dad died. So, I'm sorry for all the laws that I have broken and the laws that I do break. Like I said, I feel that the laws of mankind help us to uphold the laws of God, and that the laws of God help us to uphold the laws of mankind. And I believe that I am the one with wisdom on my mind. I got a tattoo down the back of my neck when I was 23, Jehovah's number. The root and the offspring of David. My dad's name's David, it's my son's name's David. Why do they call Jesus the son of David when his parents were Mary and Joseph? Why did they prophesy that it was going to be me? And me as what? The original life-breathing spirit as a people. She could have been any kind of person she wanted to be. And I'm hella smart. I would love to get IQ tests at the very least, because I sound like I'm fast, but I have a super quickness of mind, almost like a handicap. Anyway, I was nominated for Mom of Lifetime, and they didn't give it to me. They considered me for most law-abiding citizen. And so if I have some things that I had going on, this is what this world has come to, and imagine what the other people are doing. Because I'm like the most honest person that ever existed. And everyone thinks I'm a liar, or that I'm evil, even though I'm good and complex. I know and God knows. The truth will set us free. Hopeful.